Steph, how are you doing,
I am
Mike?
doing great, Nikki.
Thanks for making time. Did you just finish work just
I
now?
just finished work, came directly here, kind of finished up all my paperwork, and hightailed it over here.
Awesome. I really appreciate you taking time. So you've been here at Destination CrossFit for how long now?
About 7 weeks, I'd say. It
Awesome.
was like about the last week in August is when I moved to this area.
Okay. So it was awesome because we did our one um, CrossFit Medicine podcast, and you kind of like touch base with me and talk
Yep.
about your life as a provider, and I
Yes.
was super excited to just get more and more of these conversations going.
Yep.
So the purpose of this is to think about what are the implications of health and fitness on health.
Yes.
So I really appreciate you taking time to talk about
Not a
that.
problem. I'm glad to, and I'll talk for days after you want me to.
Looking forward to it. Yeah. So tell me about what you do now.
Okay, so currently I am a nurse practitioner in the urgent care here in Walla Walla. So urgent care is a little bit like a small ER. I mean, we can see just about anything. Today I saw somebody with dental pain. I saw a couple different people that may have had kidney stones. Ended up today with a lady that may have been having a heart attack that we quickly rushed off to the hospital.
Got her where she needed.
Got her where she
Awesome.
needed to be. So it's a wide variety of things. I really like that. It's fairly fast paced. If you're doing your job correctly, they're not there for very long. You're getting them in and out, and really having to engage your brain and move along quickly at a fairly quick pace.
Awesome. So you've been doing that for a while, and you're here in Walla Walla. So how long have you been doing CrossFit before you got here?
Before I got here, it was probably about 4 years.
Okay.
I first saw CrossFit long before that.
Mhm.
I actually saw it on TV. They were showing the finals of, I think it was the 2010 one with Rich Froning falling off the rope.
Yes.
And I remember just watching that and going, God, that looks like that would be good. And I'm kind of a guy that if people say you can't do something, I'm going to go out and do it. I did that with my previous athletic background too, where I finished 2 Ironman triathlons, a bunch of half, and a ton of sprint ones, a couple marathons, lots of aerobic type stuff, and a lot of that was, no, you can't do that, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go do that. So CrossFit was kind of the same way, a lot of people saying, oh, that's for elite athletes, oh, the average person can't do that, and just kind of got into it, and I really liked what they were showing on that day when I was watching on TV, and then my community finally opened up a box, and I joined there. So it's been about 4 to 5 years that I've been doing it. I did have a break. I injured my shoulder and tore a rotator cuff, and had to take some time off, but used CrossFit, the workouts, to rehab my shoulder.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, how has CrossFit impacted your life?
So one of the biggest things for me is I read a book a while ago that was talking about mental toughness. And one of the things that they have in there is goal setting. And CrossFit really is a great thing for goal setting, whether it's long-term goals of trying to reach a certain weight for lifting, or a certain time when you're running, or even just the short-term goals of, I got to get through this part of this workout to move on to the next part. So if we're doing box jumps and then lifting, I got to get through the box jumps and then get to the lifting, and meeting those accomplishments and those goals. Sometimes it's, I got to get through this one rep, and that's the goal. And once you do that, you can congratulate yourself and say, hey, you succeeded. And I think that's one of the biggest things for me with CrossFit is not only that I can achieve something and feel good about achieving that, but knowing that there's other people that are doing the same thing, and that's one of my favorite parts about coming in and doing the workouts is the end of the workout, going around high-fiving people, telling everybody else they did a good job, having them tell me that we did a good job, and knowing that we all kind of accomplished something together.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's really interesting how it's impacted a lot of people's lives, and yet it's so varied and how it actually like it meets a need that you didn't know you even had.
Yeah. And I think that similar to a lot of the patients that I see, everybody has their own struggles. Everybody has their own difficulties, their own demons that they're facing, and I think that because of, like what I said, with the goal setting and achieving different goals and feeling better about yourself, that really helps with whatever it is that you happen to be dealing with. And there's also the biochemical element of coming in and doing a workout and feeling great about it. I know that if I don't get something in every day, even if it's just walking, some sort of physical exercise, I know that I don't feel as good. I'm not as happy. I'm grumpy. I'm miserable. And my wife usually kicks me out and says, go do something. So, that I get that exercise and get that rush there.
Yeah. I think, in your life, do you see the impact of people not doing things for their health?
Completely. I mean, most of my medical career has been in emergency services. I started as a paramedic, and then as a nurse, I was mostly in the emergency department. So we see people at their dire need, the extreme, when they're coming in with heart attacks or problems with breathing and whatnot. And a lot of it is based on poor lifestyle choices, not exercising, not eating right, and it's leading to obesity, it's leading to diabetes, heart disease, respiratory problems with emphysema and COPD and all of those things. That really, one of the biggest things is not smoking, eating right, and exercise.
Right.
And you
those are
hit
habits,
those,
right?
Yep, and you hit those trifectas, and you're going to have a much better life. I mean, so CrossFit really definitely pushes the exercise. And a big part of it is eating right, because if you're not eating right, you're not going to perform well when you come in to try and do the classes.
Yeah, you're right. There is the biggest, lovely, CrossFit, the foundations and the fitness is in there, but the base of it is this nutrition idea.
Yep.
So you definitely see some habit changes even with food.
Yes.
Plus, you don't feel good if you eat food after a while. You're like, oh, I realize that is actually not going to make me feel good in that workout I want to do tomorrow.
I really don't. I have a hard time. I have to really think hard, like the last time I went out to fast food or anything like that. So it does change you, and a lot of people say that you're in there drinking the Kool-Aid, and if that's the thing, that's the thing. And
Sure.
If it helps you with not only your physical well-being but also your mental health well-being, I think that's a good thing, positive thing.
Yeah. So tell me a story of something that surprised you with CrossFit that you could do that you maybe hadn't been able to do before.
I think that the biggest surprise when I first started was realizing that it's for everybody, that they're going to scale it, that they're not going to make you feel bad. I really remember that trepidation of walking in that first time and going, okay, I know it's a small community. I know all these guys. They're big, huge, buff, muscle guys from the prison, and it's like, I don't know about this. But then, we got there, and really it was pulled me aside and said, okay, this is what we're going to do with you. We know you're just starting lifting, so we're going to give you this PVC pipe, and we're going to move up from there. But I think probably the biggest one that really surprised me is all the way through middle school and high school, it was, you got to climb the rope. That was like the big PE thing, is climbing the rope. And I was not successful at it. I'm not going to say that I couldn't do it. I'm going to say that I wasn't successful at it. And a lot of it was my mental toughness and my mental ability going, I can't do that. So I wasn't ever successful at it. And we had 2 or 3 workouts where there were rope climbs in it, and I did the lower yourself to the ground and pull yourself to a standing position.
Great
modification. And one day after we had a rope climb workout, I just kind of looked at it and went, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. And so I asked the coach specifically, I said, how do you lock your feet out? And he showed me, and I took a few minutes just kind of trying to lock the feet out, and then up the rope I went, hit the roof, and came back down. And ever since then, it's, if we have a rope climb, I'm doing the rope climb. I'm not doing the modification.
That's so cool.
It really was the surprise thing. And your reaction right there, saying, oh, that's so cool, is really what I think the best part about CrossFit is if you go and see any of their social media posts, you can see the athletes and you can see those amazing things that they do. But really, for me, I would rather see those people getting that very first muscle up, or that first rope climb, or that first box jump, or the adaptive athletes that are coming out and doing workouts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that everyday people mentality, because the elite athletes, that's amazing what they're doing, but it's the everyday athletes that you're there with in the gym every day that you see, and you see their accomplishments, and they see your firsts and your great, your new PRs that you're hitting, and that's really what I think the CrossFit community is about, and really what we're doing here.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to really emphasize. I think we all, as a team, want to emphasize that in our community. I think it actually celebrates that more than anything else. It's not about any of us wanting to ever to go to the games. We want to see people be able to do stuff with their kids and have fun.
Well, I mean, I am at some point going to the games.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Cool. All right, I'm gonna go.
It's as a medical professional, I'm going to volunteer at some
That'd be
point.
super fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I will. That's
Okay.
one of my things that I'm going to do. But yeah, I was at the last
Bucket
open.
list.
At the last open, the coach was like, "No, nobody here is going to go to the games." I'm like, "No, I'm going to go.
I'm going.
I'm going."
It's happening. So you are kind of like, so as a medical professional, the person who is seeing this in and out, you see like the mess. If you could tell anybody that came in to see you, or trying to just convince them to do something for fitness, what would you say?
And I actually do use this a lot, and it's to set goals, have a plan, and to start easy. And I actually tell them this all the time. I say, I'm not expecting you to go out and run a marathon, because that's not going to happen. I said, get up off the couch, walk around the block. When you're successful with that, and you accomplish that goal, set a new goal of 2 blocks or 2 times around the block, whatever it is, and just keep building on it. One of the biggest keys is getting up and actually moving. You gotta move. Gotta get off the couch. You gotta move. And once you start doing it and develop those habits, then it becomes a pattern that you can't break out of.
Yeah, it just becomes so much more fun.
Yeah.
Too. Like that's the next thing that takes over.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and I have it. I mean, I'm always having new goals that I'm setting. I'd like
That's
to.
an addictive habit too, is setting goals, right?
Right, and physically, my next goal is that I want to do the Spartan race in Montana in May. So that's that's my thing. That's
fun.
what I'm going to do.
Cool.
That's my newest goal for that. But
I love hearing it. So when you get there, we'll take a picture.
Definitely.
Put it up there and say,
Definitely.
got there.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for taking
Not a
time.
problem. I enjoyed it.
Have more of these conversations.
I would love to come back and talk some more.
Awesome. Great. Have a good evening.
You too.